Hello, hello everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the last day of this summit. Built to last. I am super excited. You are welcome, you are welcome, you are welcome. We are going to be starting off shortly. You are welcome. You are welcome. I trust you had a great time yesterday. Personally, I had a great time and I trust you did too. So today we are going to be rounding off on this conference. Today is day 2 and is the grand finale. And we have three speakers. Three speakers all joining us for tonight. First, we are going to be having Barrister Ifedi, the Director of Founder Institute, Lagos. And after him, we are going to be having Madam Nella Ugu, the growth coach herself. And after that, we are going to be joined by Mrs. Comfort Wanwoso, all the way from the United States of America. And I trust you are ready. I trust you are set. Please, I want you to do me a favor. Just before the first speaker come on board, use the link, invite, share the link, share the link, share the link. Let your friends know that we are about to hit the ground rolling. Let your friends know that we are about to get started. We are doing it on a different level tonight. We are doing it on a different level. We had to start earlier by 6 p.m. so that we'll be able to finish on time. So get your friends in if they are not yet in. Get them in, get them in, get them in, get them in. We will be back. Get them in, get them in. We will start shortly. Get them in. all right, people. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's nice to have you all for tonight's session. Good evening to you, Chidima. You are welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you if you are online and you are available, please do let us know through a comment. Just send in a comment, let us know. And it would be nice if you could let us know where you are joining us from. Where are you connecting from? Please do let us know. If you are online, just do let us know. Where are you connecting from? Where are you connecting from? We would like to know. Let me know where you are joining from. Esther, you are welcome. Esther, you are welcome. Thank you for joining in tonight. Please do let us know where you are joining in from. Where in the world are you joining in from? Esther, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, while we still wait for more persons. Okay, Esther is connecting from Enugu. Esther, how is Enugu today? How is the cold city? All right. Okay, we have in the green room the head corrector herself, who will be taking over from this end to anchor the activities till we are done for today.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Rose Jonathan. Hello, Rose Joseph.
Somebody is going to sue you for that name.
Please don't
Was
sue
paid
me. Oh, please don't sue me.
to
I
sue
am
you. So
sorry. I am sorry.
thank you so much for holding up for me while I was away. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? How's your service today?
Service was nice.
I can see. All right, please, could you leave my stage? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, is it my network or can someone hear me out there? I'm believing that Mr. Victor has stepped down for me to take over this wonderful event for today. My name is Rose Joseph Umi, and if you can see and hear me clearly, please, I'd like you to say something in the comment section. I'd like you to give me some love, send me those fire emojis, those heart emojis, the flowers. Yesterday, I said that I love flowers because my name is Rose. I mean, it's only logical for me to love flowers since my name is Rose. So if you can see me clearly, I need to make sure that I am not talking to myself and that it's just his networkers. Okay. So if you can see and hear me, kindly say something in the comment section. I see 3 people are already live. So please say something in the comment section. You can see me, you can hear me clearly. It means a lot. It would help me to know that I am not talking to myself. Yeah, please. Network is a little bit fluctuating a little down here where I am. So to help me know that I am not alone, please kindly say something in the comment section. If you're watching me and you can see me and hear me clearly. Yeah. Okay, great. Being my Esther can see and hear me clearly. So great. Thank you so much, Esther, for replying. It's a morale booster when someone replies to something that you're doing. So you're welcome to the second day of this wonderful event. It started yesterday, and I think it's important for us to give you a little breakdown or rundown of yesterday's event before we go fully into the event for today. So yesterday, the Build to Last Virtual Career and Business Conference started in earnest right here on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, wherever you're watching us from. And we said that the essence of the program was to bring information, timely information to individuals who are trying to start up their, who are trying to start up their lives and the businesses. Okay, I don't know. Someone said I should check my audio. Okay, so I don't know. Someone said I should check my audio. I just Okay, so Queen from Yola can see and hear me clearly. So please, the person that said I should check my audio, please kindly look check yours. I think it might be a problem from your end because everybody that is here can see and hear me. Yes, so I was talking about the program. I was talking about, sorry, I'm trying to, okay. All right, so I was telling you that the Butelast virtual conference on career and business started yesterday, and the sole aim is just to give you information on how you can accelerate in your career and your business. So if you're someone who's looking forward to opening your own business and running it, or you are already doing business and you want additional information on how it can be better, that's exactly what we are here to discuss. But if you're not somebody who is on the corporate ladder, who is doing the business and you're on the corporate ladder and you want information on how you can accelerate faster in your career, that's exactly also what we are here for. So we started yesterday with a power packed session from the Prince Doctor, Mr. Ayodeji Ebadan. I personally I wrote down a lot and I've been thinking about it, and I'm already seeing new vistas to conquer. Okay, so he said his lesson came in three ways, uh, in three platforms or in three angles. He mentioned some questions you have to ask yourself if you are trying to. His topic was charting a career path, designing an effective career path for your life. And he said that if you want to design an effective path, you have to do three things. The first thing is that you have to ask yourself questions, you have to make decisions, and you have to understand something too. And the first question to ask yourself is what exactly the plan is. Okay, what exactly the plan is, and then how, and what your desired personal development plan is. It was a powerful session. I wish I can take you through it all, but our guest for today is already here. I mean, I love it when guests are so punctual. It makes it so easy to, do everything. So our guest for today is here already. So maybe I would, yes, maybe I would do this later. I will bring you information on how the session went yesterday, pretty much later. Okay, so our speaker today is Mr. Ralph Ezeifedi, and he's already in the building. Please, before I welcome him, like I said yesterday, you're getting timely information here. It's a crime for you to gather all this information and keep it to yourself. So please send the link to your friends, to your loved ones, to your contacts. Tell them that it's about to rain again, that the rain that fell yesterday, we've not even recovered from it though, and another rain is about to fall. And this time it is going to be the showers of Mr. Ralph Ezeifedi. And I know him. I've listened to him speak a couple of times. I've seen him live. So you should know the excitement that I already had to listen to him again. So send the message out, send the link out, put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on your Facebook story, your Instagram story, on Twitter, everywhere. Tell people that it's about to go down again. So I'll quickly read out the profile of our speaker before we meet him. Mr. Ralph Ezeifedi is called to the Nigerian bar, and he holds a Bachelor of Law from the University of Nigeria. An alumnus of the Lagos Business School of the Pan Atlantic University. He is also a member of the Institute of Strategic Management, Nigeria. He's an alumnus of the Enterprise Development Center of the Africa Leadership Forum, where he trained as an enterprise development specialist. He has attended courses and received training from reputable organizations like Leap Africa, George Washington University, African Management Initiative, Institute of Development Studies UK, and the Lagos Business School of the Pan Atlantic University. And he has also executed assignments for ActionAid, Nigeria Breweries, Golden Heart Foundation, and a host of others, and was nominated for the Ford Foundation Prize for Youth Employment at the Future Awards Africa. Ezifedi has spent over a decade mentoring and advising startups on business modeling, market entry, and customer development strategies. He has trained over 1,000 founders across Nigeria and serves as a mentor and business advisor on several platforms like Startup Nigeria, Genesis Ignite, Student Innovation Challenge, Fate Foundation, Coca-Cola Foundation, etc. He led the team that implemented Accelerate Labs for Microsoft Nigeria and the Future Project, which provided training and access to funding to over 5,500 startups in the Southeast. Our guest today is a member of the strategy team at Maze Matrix Consulting Limited and founding partner at AgroLex Partners, a young and upwardly mobile boutique law firm providing advisory and strategy support to players in the Nigerian agribusiness space. He leads the management team at TechX. Personally, I am motivated by this profile. It's a wonderful time. I'm really going to have a beautiful time because obviously from the profile I just read, our guest is very much qualified to take us today and this session. So ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, if your hands are free like mine, could you put them together as I bring to the podium our honorable speaker for today, Mr. Rafi Ezifedi. Thank you so much, for joining us this evening. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, Rose. Thank you for having me, and to the leadership team at Double Edge Impact Network.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So what's the format? Are we going to do a question and answer? Or I should just speak.
Okay, usually you just speak, and if people have questions, they put them up and you answer probably at the end or in between.
Oh, okay, great. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind having to answer questions in the course of the conversation. If there is any, it works better. So thank you guys for the opportunity to be here. It's a privilege, when I can have these conversations, because it also helps to reinforce learning. And unfortunately, the COVID pandemic has taken away a lot of the human touch to our interactions. So we have to see ourselves on the big screen. And personally, I'm not a fan of the screen, right? Because I like to connect with my audience. I like to be able to look you in the face. I like to be able to gauge, audience response to a conversation. And then I like to get feedback from my audience, because I believe that these things are actually learning experiences, and it goes both ways. So I learn from the audience and just learns from me. But unfortunately, we just have to make the best out of the situation. So unfortunately, I may not be able to spend so long, in this conversation, because I have a pretty tight schedule, and as you can see, I had to jump in the car to be able to do this. So forgive me if I don't spend so much time, but I hope that we can get value in the little together. So yeah, our conversation today is supposed to be on building sustainable businesses, how to build a sustainable business. And so before we, for us to have that conversation around building a sustainable business or building sustainable businesses, I usually like to start by asking what the purpose of business is. And well, because there is no, I'm not able to interact with the audience. In my over 10 years of working in this space, advising businesses, startups across multiple industries, I see a common misconception amongst business entrepreneurs who think that the main purpose of business profit. So they tell you they start a business for profit. Now, while profit is a component of the business conversation, it does not take the place of purpose. It is not the purpose of business. Profit is a consequence of doing business. And this doesn't just apply to business. It's across every human endeavor. Profit or gain or remuneration, whatever you call it, is a consequence of doing something, and that something is called creating value, right? What you get out of any value creation activity is profit. So it's a consequence, and it should take the lag role, not the lead role. The lead role should be taken by purpose. And what is purpose? For business, the major purpose of business is to create value, is to solve problems, right? You start a business because there is a problem that has been identified that is willing to, that is actively looking for solutions to that, and there is a you that has the solution to that problem and is willing to organize all the factors of production to be able to solve that problem, and then the market is able to pay you for the value that you create in solving that problem for them, right? It's very important that this helps us, lay the foundation to our conversation, because when you don't understand and when you don't put, profit in its proper place, it becomes, you fall in what I call the money trap, because your major key performance indicator becomes money. How much money is coming in? And even though theoretically, you can say that every entrepreneur understands the basic difference between revenue, and you find out that people who make profits, their major, their purpose, do not, in practice, you find out that they actually find it difficult to make that delineation between profit, because once they make that initial investment into getting things running, they tend to see comes in as, well, I set up a business to make money, and once money is coming in, they begin to harvest that without realizing that society is constantly in a state of flux, meaning that at every point the dynamics of our societal interactions means that new problems arise, new dimensions to old problems arise, existing problems mutate into something new, and it is the job of entrepreneurs to constantly find solutions for that problem. I'll give you an example. We remember the day, the story of Kodak is a classic case. Almost everywhere you go, Kodak is used as in discussing businesses that failed to innovate, right? And they became dinosaurs. They became extinct. I am sure that some of the Gen Z people, Gen Z guys, some of you who are listening to me, will probably have not even met the days of Kodak. Now my question is, why did Kodak die? Because the problem that Kodak sought to solve has remained with us even till date. Same thing with the rank Xerox, right? The problem of disseminating information has remained constant over the years. The problem of being able to capture moments in frames of pictures and being able to preserve it so that the future, the future generation might be able to relate with some things that happened before they were born, has always lived with us. But you will find out that in the passage of time, as society evolved, how the problem was solved has changed over time. Now the thing to price is, if you don't put your finger on the pulse of change, on the pulse of the community, and by the time you're gauging people's response and people's how people are interacting with the dynamics of a certain problem, you tend to fall into that trap of not knowing the dynamics of the how your target market with the problem has changed, their preferences, their thought patterns, their decision-making process, and because you don't on that, you keep giving value that worked 5 years ago, 5 years later, without realizing that it is no longer value. So imagine that somebody is still manufacturing today a camera that you have to do the negative and then go develop it in a lab. He's trying problem. Does that problem exist? Yes, that problem still exists. But the method, the solution that he's bringing is a solution that has been rendered obsolete by the passage of time and the evolution of society. But because he's not in touch, because probably all he had in mind was start a business, make money. He did not keep his finger on the pulse of society, and society moved on. They left him behind. Now that's what usually happens when people profit is the reason why. Because if you understand that value creation is the reason why you are in business, it opens up a completely new method of doing business to you, because you know that constantly for every single day that you're in business, it's whatever you're creating in terms of goods or services is just a byproduct of the major activity. Your major activity as an entrepreneur is to keep your finger on the pulse of the people. And how do you do that? By constantly being in touch so that you are able to create, so that you can understand the dynamics of the problem that you want to solve and the solution that is proper for the market. It is the intersection of that, in the intersection of that solution given in the right way at the right time at the right price. A lot of other factors, a lot of moving parts depending on the industry that you're working, the scope and the scale of what you're trying to do, and then what market you're serving. It is the intersection of all of these moving parts that makes your business sustainable. Now, what is so we are talking sustainability, right? What exactly is a sustainable business? Because I mean, the conversation we are having today is how to build a business. That's the conversation we're having today. How to build a sustainable business. So, what exactly is a sustainable business? A sustainable business is a business whose model creates, delivers, and captures value for all its stakeholders without depleting the natural, economic, and social capital it relies on. Yeah, I'll take that again. A sustainable business is one whose model creates, delivers, and captures value for all its stakeholders without depleting the natural, economic, and social capital it relies on. So in essence, a sustainable business, so there are three things to keep, there are three things to take note of. First is it creates value. Second is it delivers value. And then the third is that it captures value. Now you can see the rank ordering. You have to create value first. And then you have to understand how you can deliver the value that you have created. And then the final conversation is how do you capture value for yourself or your business. And you are doing this for all stakeholders without depleting the natural, economic, and social capital that the business relies on. Now, when we talk about stakeholders, there are several stakeholders in any business. Again, that will depend on certain factors, which include industry, scope, markets, and all of that. But generically speaking, every business has founders. Every business has investors. Sometimes the founders are also investors. Other times there are external investors who come in to, support the word is not support, but invest in the business, right? So you have the founders, you have the investors, you have partners, you have the team, the guys who are working in the business, right? You have the customers, you have regulators. So these are, generically speaking, these are stakeholders in every business. And the business that is sustainable is a business that is able to create value for all of these stakeholders. A business that is sustainable is a business that is able to capture and factor in all of the interests of these different stakeholders as they build and deliver value. So, for example, as an entrepreneur, you think that all you have to think about is your customers. As long as the customers are happy, just wait until one regulatory agency shows up. So you're satisfying customers, but you're not paying tax. So you're satisfying customers, but you're using less than approved raw materials. So you're satisfying customers, but your say your staff, the members of your team, are not happy. Probably because your remuneration system is very poor, or staff welfare is quite low. So there are a lot of factors that you consider when you talk about a business being sustainable. But because of time, I'm just going to run you through every business that is going to thrive must understand the components of a business model. As a business, how do you organize your business so that you're able to of your business? Every business needs to understand what model they need to be able to create sustainability within their system. And so if you're not able to build a model, if you're not able to create a system, if you're not able to calibrate your operations in such a way that you're measuring, that you're observing, and then you're harvesting feedback, and then you're going back to, based on the feedback that you have got, to improve. As a matter of fact, I call it the MMI formula. You're not, you must be measuring, and then you must be improving. You monitor so that you can gather data. You create systems within your business. You create systems that help you to monitor. What are your key performance indicators? Do you know what, do you have historical data of how your business is performing over a 6-month period or a 1-year period? Can you track your revenue trend? Was there an increase? Was there a decrease? Was there a staccato? What are the factors available for that? Was it low sales? If it was low sales, was it low sales across all your products categories, or was it a particular product category? What percentage of your products often give you the greatest number of revenue? I mean, there's a lot that you have to calibrate, and if you're not doing that calibration, it is almost impossible for you to create a business that is sustainable, because at some point it's either one of the various interests that you have to balance are suffering. Which is why sometimes you see businesses, they start, and after a while they begin, they begin to struggle, and then they go down. And sometimes when businesses are struggle, people feel, now this is another thing that a lot of entrepreneurs are guilty of. Business begins to struggle, and what you do is you throw money at the problem. You think that it's not every problem that money is a solution to. Yes, I know. I mean, my Christian brothers, we say that money answers all things. But the truth is that in context, money is not always cash. So it is not every problem that you throw cash at. You could throw cash at problems and you find out that cash is not the solution. Because if you're walking down the wrong road, then it doesn't matter how fast you accelerate your journey. All you're doing is that you're accelerating your journey to destruction, or you're accelerating your journey to the wrong outcome. Sometimes you think the conversation is you have a few $1,000s and you feel that if you get more money, you will arrive at this outcome faster. And then the money shows up and you find out that because you're materially on the wrong journey, you arrive faster, but what you arrive at is the wrong outcome faster. So guys, I'll quickly run us through the components of a sustainable business model. Every business model has 9 building blocks that every entrepreneur must understand and must be able to address all of the issues that each of these building blocks raise to be able to, position their business for sustainability. Unfortunately, I'm not able to. I wish I had, I wish I had, I was able to be in the office or at home, so I could do a lot. But I mean, I can't show you. I can't do screen sharing. I'm not even very conversant with with this. But as it were, I'm just going to, talk and hope that you can catch me. Of course, if you go to Google and run a search for the business model canvas, you're going to get quite a lot of results. And maybe by the time you do some deep dive, the conversation I'm having this evening will take on more shape for you, right? So now the first thing is every business is building for a customer. Without a customer, then, because your customer is the guarantee of revenue. So the canvas starts by asking, who are your customer segments? Every business is trying to create value, but it's trying to create value for a particular, people group. So who are your customer segments? Who are you creating this value for? Whose problem are you solving? Do you understand? And I wish we had time, because each of these is a conversation on its own. Because when we start talking about customer segments and talking about solution hacking, the question is, what is the problem? Do you even understand the problem? Because sometimes we start solving our perception of the problem. As an entrepreneur, it's called a founder's bias. A lot of entrepreneurs have that. So you see a problem and you feel that because you have this problem, that everyone in the world has that problem. And so you feel that if you build a solution to it, great solution, everyone will get it. It doesn't always work. So you need to understand, whose problem are you solving? Your understanding of the problem, does it come from your personal experience with the problem, or do you have an understanding through the eyes of the customer? So do you see this problem the way the customer sees it? I'll give an example. If you build a solution that addresses inventory management for a business that has inventory, possibility that the solution you're building for the business owner, this is for a B2B solution. So as a business, your customers are businesses. Now, if you spend some time having conversations with some of these guys who run inventory heavy businesses, they will tell you that one of the major challenges they have is, how do they make sure that the guys, their team, the staff who are in their businesses are not depleting stock. So for him, he sees that conversation purely from a theft angle, that he wants to be sure that someone is not stealing from him. Now you've built a solution that addresses that problem, but because you are not seeing the problem the way he's seeing it, you're selling it in a way different, and you cannot connect with him. So when you come to talk to him about the solution that you want to sell to him, you're telling him is a solution that helps him manage inventory, to know when goods are going down, know when they are going up, know when what, know when to restock, know when to, know what SKU at every point in time is. But this is not what the guy is looking for, even though this is the solution that helps him solve the problem that he believes he has. But because you do not understand his own understanding of the problem, you build something based on your personal bias about the problem and you throw it out there, so it's not doing well. But what's the challenge? The challenge is not that you don't have value, but your value does not correlate at a level where the target market can understand it. So you must understand your customer segment, understand their appreciation of the problem, understand how they want that problem to be solved, understand at what price points they are willing to pay for that problem or for the solution to that problem, right? And then you need to, moving from customer segment, of course, very much tied to that is your value proposition. What exactly are you offering? And the position, you must understand that it goes beyond just your product. Inside one product can be a bundle of values, but depending on the challenge that each individual customer or each customer group is facing, one product has the potential in it to address a wide array of challenges or problems. So I'll give you an example. If you were a microphone manufacturing or retailing company and you sell microphones, you will find out it's same product, but it carries different value bundles. For the guy who has a large audience that he wants to speak to and he doesn't have a loud voice, he needs voice amplification. He needs to amplify his voice. So inside that product is a value of voice amplification. So for that guy, the only reason he will put his money on your product is because it helps him to amplify his voice. But what about the guy who owns a studio, a recording artist? He obviously does not need voice amplification because he's inside that tiny room, and but he needs that because he needs a voice capture that will enable him eliminate surround noise, capture the voice, and then get to the system for recording and then mastering and all of that. So for him, the value is not voice amplification. For him, the value is quality, sound quality for recording purposes. So you must understand what value, the different value bundles that exist in that one solution that you're bringing to the market. And you understand how to tilt it for each customer segment to be able to speak to the problems that they have. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will leave money on the. So talking about, so you need to, what's the customer segment? Who are your customers? What value are you offering them? Then you move on to the third building block, which is channels. Remember when I defined a sustainable business, I said it's a business creates, delivers value. So, and then of course captures value. So that value delivery component of your model, what are the channels through which you communicate, through which you connect with your market? What are the channels that they are on? You cannot be building a product that targets, say, people in the rural areas, and all your channels are digital channels. There's a mismatch because you cannot reach people in the digital areas. They have that internet, that difficulty to access the internet. They have that challenge of not access to digital devices. Most of them will use feature phones. They don't even have smartphones. And so how do you expect them to be able to communicate with the solution that you're offering? So you begin to think of other channels will help you reach that demographic if they are part of your target market. So you must think of customer channels. You must think in that conversation, you must also be thinking of channel efficiency. So how are you efficient in your channel in such a way that you're not expending resources that are not supposed to be expended in that space? Now, moving on from channel, you get to the fourth building block, which is relationships, customer relationships. What kind of relationships would you want to build with with your customers and your target markets? Now I'm seeing that, oh wow, I need to run now. So quickly, I'll just run through the remaining building blocks, but I may not be able to touch them. So after that, then you talk about revenue streams. What are the various ways through which you can make money from this program? And of course, remember, I talked earlier about the value proposition. So there's correlation between revenue streams and value proposition, because if you're able to identify the different value offerings of your service, you're able to determine how many revenue streams that you can extract from that product or from that service. As a business also, you can think of what are the different problems that you can solve that would generate multiple revenue streams for the business. Unfortunately, I may not be able to go into details. Then from revenue streams, you move to the infra side of the conversation, which begins to talk about key activities. What are the key activities that the business will do, and then from there you move on to this is the sixth, right? The sixth block. You move on from key activities to key partnerships. What partnerships do you need to get this work? And then from there, you move on to cost structure, right? I see. I think. So let's talk about cost. Just about how much in what would it cost? The value that you want to give to the market. Let's talk about you have direct costs, you have indirect costs, right? You have costs. So you're able to understand how they play in the entire value chain. So guys, you want to build a sustainable business. Remember how we started in defining what a sustainable business is. We said it is a business whose model creates, delivers, and captures value for its stakeholders without depleting the natural, economic, and social capital it relies on. So when you begin to interrogate every single component of these, business model building blocks, what you will realize is that being able to answer the questions that each of these blocks raise helps you to build that kind of business that in growth does not deplete natural resources, or natural capital. It does not deplete economic capital and social capital, because within those building blocks, these three elements have been sufficiently captured. So I will be wrapping it up here to say that the one who wants to build a sustainable business must be able to understand first that, I remember back in the days we were told that as an entrepreneur, one of the attractions for entrepreneurship is the fact that you're able to be in control of your time, and then that you become your own boss. And I found out as I began to interrogate the world of entrepreneurship that is one of the biggest lies that we were told. Because the truth about entrepreneurship is that when you dive in, you realize that the only person who is in control of his time is the paid employee. Because really, he has a contract with the organization that says you work for, there's a defined working hours, and anything outside of that working hours is what is called overtime. and in most cases, overtime is paid for, except where there is there's a conversation and there's a mutual understanding to waive that. Otherwise, in every organization, once the team members are expected to work outside of their normal working hours, there's usually compensation for that. But as an entrepreneur, you don't have working hours. You work every other time, as long as you have strength, as long as you're constantly on the move. So you find out that truly the only person who is in control of his time is the one who has paid employment, because I mean, he can plan his life. He knows, oh, I'll work 7 to 5 today. From 5 p.m. I'll do this. By 8 p.m. I'll do that and all of that. Not the entrepreneur. You don't even know what's going to happen, which is why it's a very tough life. And then the employee knows that they have one boss, which is the one whose salary they receive at the end of every month, right? But you as an entrepreneur, once you jump into that space, you have multiple bosses. Your staff is your boss, because I mean, if you don't treat them well, you're sure business is about to go down. The customers are your bosses. The regulators are your bosses. Your investors are your, I mean, you find out that there are a lot of people that you have to explain yourself to, a lot of people that you have to make sure that you carry them along, that you factor in their interest. I mean, so if you want to build a sustainable business, I believe that the first thing that you must deal with is your conceptualization of what business is. Because I see a lot of people who go into business for the long reason, which is the reason why we have that very grim statistics that says that 80% of businesses will fail in their first year. Most times the failure is not because they don't like capital, in terms of financial capital. Most times it is because of the wrong approach. Because if you approach something with the wrong mindset, then there is no way that you're going to get the best outcome from that thing. So if you are going to build a sustainable business, then the first do is to reimagine what business means to you and understand that the reason why you are in business is not to make profit, but to create value. And that if you're able to understand all the building blocks that and you're able to you're able to stack them up in the right way and build a model that can create, deliver and capture value with making sure that for all the stakeholders, you're not depleting the natural, the economic and social capital that you rely on to make that work, then I can say that you're on your way to building a business that is sustainable. So thank you and good evening. And I am unfortunately not able to gauge the level of engagement that's but yeah, I hope this conversation helps in some kind of way. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful session, and I personally wrote down lots of things that I am definitely going to also look into. I have a question, and my question is on the founder's bias. Like you said, sometimes founders tend to make decisions that they think is what the customers need, even though it is just their own understanding. So my question is, let's say someone has gone so deep, someone has gone so deep in this founder's bias and later discovered that they are making a huge mistake. How can they retrace their steps?
Okay, so basically you do a pivot, right? So the thing about a business that will last, as a business again, is that it's a business that is open. So what do you do with feedback? Feedback helps you to recalibrate your steps along your journey. So the moment you find out that you are making a mistake, that moment is a time to stop and then look at all the various moving parts and see how you realign your focus and you begin to reassign resources in the right way, so that you can make the necessary pivot that is needed for you to to get yourself back on track. So
Okay.
what this means in specifics will now differ from business to business. For some business, it will mean shutting down a product line. For some business, mean removing or discontinuing some features of a product. For others, it will mean completely different market. For others, it will mean in a particular geographic location. So comes for every business will differ, but generally, the moment that you realize that you've made that founders that mistake predicated on founders bias, you need to stop and reassess. And that's why I talked about the MMI. That's what helps. If you're not monitoring, then you cannot improve, and that's why businesses die.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, I don't know. I would have loved to have you more, but definitely it's already so late, and it's becoming difficult to even see your face. So thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful segment. And one thing that stood out for me is this particular issue on founders bias. I mean, I have done some things in the past that, even though I didn't really consider them as businesses, which I would still need to understand again. But I have done some things in the past that I thought was the best way. I thought that that's just how it's going to be. But when the results came out, I saw that it wasn't as I had predicted. So that means that everybody, whether you're in business or you're out of business, even in your career, we are open and susceptible to this founders bias. But like he has said, you need to realign your focus and reassign resources. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful segment. Okay, so now we're moving into... Yes, sir. So now we're moving into...
Okay, thank you, Rose. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I don't know, do I still have people watching me live from wherever they are? Please send me something in the comment section. Send me some love emojis. Tell me how the class is going. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope that you're getting good returns on your investment of time. And I hope you're also taking notes, because it's not just about listening. They say that a shorter pen is better than a long memory. So you can listen to something and it will stick with you, but when you write those things down, you have more capability to remember them and also implement at the end of the day. And it's not just about writing notes, it's about going back through to that note and finding out how you can improve your life. So now we are going into the next session. And this session is something that I have been looking forward to. I mean, when the flyer came out and I saw that this person was actually in the speaker's panel, I was so happy, because I saw that she's also going to add value just like every other person on that list. So I don't know. I will need to find out if our speaker is ready so that I will usher her in. But before then, I was telling you about the last session that we had before the session. That's a session for yesterday, and yes, I was telling you some of the touch points that the print doctor mentioned, that really stood out for me. And I'm going to quickly run through them while we're waiting for our next guest. Just sit tight, because our next guest is going to blow your mind away. So while you're sitting tight waiting for her to come on board and unleash the magic that she is, please don't forget what I said earlier. Please forward this So forward this link to everyone who's on your contact list. Forward it on your stories, WhatsApp stories, Instagram, Facebook stories. Tell them to join in because we are about to have the growth coach speak to us. Oh my God, I can't believe I gave it that away. It was supposed to be a secret. Oh, I take it back. I take it back. But well, I've said it already, and no matter how I take it back, I can't really take it back, right? So we'll be having the growth coach to join us soon. If you don't know who the growth coach is, then you don't know nobody. Because yes, she's somebody who I have. The first time I heard about her, I was like, who's this growth coach? I mean, who's this person that is doing this amazing thing? And I think that the first time I heard about her was from a colleague before Vic started, and I was like, I checked her out and I saw that I started following her on Instagram. Immediately I checked her out because content. And her content is unique, and that's why we brought her on the show. So it's not just about having content, but having unique content that is going to stand out, because we are here to just chat a profitable career and business path. Okay, so if you're in business already, or you're looking forward to starting one, or you are on the corporate ladder in this context, in my context, means that you have a job or you're employed by someone and you want to scale the ladder, you want to get promoted, you want to do more work, you want to make more connections, you want to network more, you want to climb. That's what we mean by the corporate ladder. So if that's what you want to achieve, by being in this class today, you're going to achieve that. Because just like we had Prince Doctor yesterday and today already, Mr. Isaac Giraffe, then we're going to have other people who would also shape your mindset and career to help you make better decisions and to accelerate in your different career. So the growth coach will join us. So please don't go nowhere. I'm waiting for you to send this message out to everyone out there who desires to listen to her and who would want to listen to her. Tell them that she's about to come on board and she's about to unleash the magic that she is. I hope you can still hear me clearly and see me. Please, if you can still see my fine face. If you can still see my fine face and hear my lovely voice, yes, please say something in the comment section and I'll be very delighted to. And I'll be very delighted to respond. Let's have a conversation, before we bring the growth coach. Okay. So what's okay, so I just got the information that our guest is ready. Our guest is ready, guys. Can you believe that? Okay. So I'm going to read out her bio right now and give her the floor. I don't know, this particular my derivation that I want to talk about keeps getting pushed. But it's okay. It's still my derivation and I will still say it at the end of the I'll still say it at the end. Okay, so I'm trying to read her profile. Okay, so please give me a second. Give me a second to do that. So let's just take this as a little timeout to invite our friends and tell them to join us. Because like I said, the growth coach is about to unleash magic on us. The growth coach is about to unleash magic on us, and it makes me really excited to really want to read out her profile. So here is the profile of our speaker who will be joining us shortly. Okay, so Madam Noella Ugu, also known as the growth coach, has a passion for helping individuals and businesses achieve outstanding performance. She uses neuroscience to provide solution-focused intervention to help her clients find creative and empowering approaches to their goals and challenges. This ensures that the results are sustainable as her methods encourage continuous growth long after her clients encounter her. Her clients include blue chip organizations, small and medium businesses, multinationals, adults, and youngsters. Madam Noella is a certified image consultant and a certified neuro-linguistic master practitioner. For about a decade, she has armed individuals and businesses with tools to help them navigate the complexities of life and develop the resilience and adaptability needed to excel in an ever-changing world. She has succeeded in getting many individuals and businesses to thrive instead of survive. She has been able to achieve this through her long and high impact training, coaching, and mentorship programs. Madam Noella has authored so many articles on etiquette, leadership, exceptional customer service, personal effectiveness, and more. She was a speaker at the United Nations 75th anniversary on gender-based violence and gender-based inequality. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too heavy like mine are, please put them together as we bring to the podium the one and only growth coach who is going to drive this vehicle to bring about massive growth. I can see her face. Oh my God, she's so lovely. Oh my God. Good evening, Ma.
How are you, Rose?
I am well. Thank you so much. How about you, Ma?
I'm good. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
So much, Ma. Thank you. It's so lovely to see your face again.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you're onto the Career and Business conference organized by the Double Aged Impact Network, and this evening you have the podium.
Okay, so I welcome everybody here, and it's really, really exciting to be in your midst, talking to young people and those who want to grow in their career or in their business is something I'm really passionate about. And I was asked to speak on strategies for career growth or strategies for workplace success. And then I was also asked to give a little tip on how to get one's dream job. So I think I have to actually start with the afterthoughts, how to get your dream job. Okay. Now, the first thing I want everybody here to know is that looking for a job is a full-time job. Looking for a job is something that must be taken seriously. It is something that has to also happen strategically. You don't just look for a job for the heck of it. And you don't just look for a job without any tactic. You must be tactical. You must be strategic in looking for a job. First of all, you need to know what kind of job you want in the first place, so that when you see the kind of job that you want, you recognize it immediately. When you see the kind of job that you don't want, you know that I'm looking for a job, but I don't want this one. Two is that you have to be focused in looking for the kind of job that you want. So you need to identify that job. You need to give it a name. You also need to paint a picture. Job. Where can I get, what kind of industry offers are the requirements for you just want to work in an oil company? Do you know what the recruitment process looks like? Do you know the kind of tests they write? Do you know how long the recruitment process lasts? For some organizations, the recruitment process could last as long as 1 year. It took me 1 year to get a job in the bank, not because of anything, but the process was that long. So I wrote a test in July of a particular year, and I was able to resume in July of the following year. After all the interviews, tests, and training school came to 12 calendar months. So you need to ask yourself, am I ready for this waiting? All right. Then you also need to understand what your preferences are. What are you passionate about? You don't just say you want to get this kind of job because it's in vogue, because everybody is getting that job. The people you know are getting that kind of job. Do you really have the passion for it? Do you have a knack for that kind of job? If you do you have the skills? If you don't have the skills, then you have to develop it. Yes, organizations will tell you that they want people who have XYZ number of years of experience. But you know, your experience doesn't necessarily have to come from having worked in an organized setting. Your experience could actually have come from you. So I will advise, if you have, for instance, taken up the job of being a pump attendant in a filling station, or while you were waiting, you learned a skill. Maybe you learned how to, or how to pull up, or whatever skill you learned. It could even be how to bake, or how to, make sure you put these things in your CV, because these things count. Some people think that the only things that should appear in their CV will be where they worked in a corporate organization. No. When I recruit people, there are things I look for. People who are able to take initiative, people who are self-starters, self-leadership, people who are able to improvise, people who are able to make do with the little opportunity they have. Because what you're simply telling me is that even if you do not have abilities to work with, you can make things happen. Because if you had made it happen for yourself, it means that you can actually make it happen in this business. So while you are preparing your CV, I'm going to get to the part of CV shortly. While you are preparing your CV, make sure that everything you have done, no matter how insignificant in quotes you think it is, please put it there. You have been the school prefect for your school when you were in secondary school. Put it there, because it's a testament to your leadership skills. You cannot say you possess leadership skills. How are we going to know? But some people leave these things out. You think your CV has to start. Yes, your CV doesn't have to necessarily contain your secondary school grades and information. But if you held leadership positions in secondary school, it counts for something. If you had been the head of your library, it should count for something. Because what it also means is that you can be trusted with information. You are an organized person. Someone who could be in charge of a library is, first of all, somebody who loves to learn. People who don't like books they don't go to the library, let alone becoming the library prefect. Because I have had to go through some people's CV that, I found the CV scanty, but these people had actually done so much, and I had to point out these things. Remember, your CV is your billboard. Your CV sells you. The way organizations advertise their products on TV, that is exactly what your CV does for you. Your CV should be compelling, should be attractive. Your CV should tell a story that is interesting, a story that is captivating. CV that sells you well. So if you have a CV, ask yourself, does it really tell? So if your answer is not a resounding yes, then it means that you need to touch up your CV. So we're not going to be talking about CV writing right now, but just to let you know how important your CV is. So your CV must be compelling. Your CV must follow a chronological order. So 1 year should lead to the next. We don't want to see 1982 and then you jump to 1995, then you go back to 1975. No. It must follow a chronological order. One event has to lead to the next, and make sure that you can defend what is in your CV. Whatever you put down there, you should be able to defend it. Your date of birth, your schooling dates, your graduation, and everything should be able to defend what you have on your CV, because nothing can actually make your interviewers lose faith in you than a CV that you cannot defend, because it then borders on integrity. So if you can lie on your CV, it means you can also lie in bigger consequences, because these people want to bring you into their organization. And if you begin to lie ab initio, it simply means that lying is a way of life for you. All right. And then you have to get prepared for the interview. Prepare yourself for the interview. You don't just waltz into an interview. You need to prepare yourself, from your dressing to the way you communicate, to the way you answer questions and everything. Be as genuine as possible when you're answering your interview questions. Okay, so that's about getting a job. And then social media is a very, very helpful tool for helping you get your dream job. You need to be on LinkedIn. You need to know what's happening. Be on Twitter. You know, organizations usually job vacancies. And just last week, I got 2 job vacancies on Twitter alone. Okay, 2 weeks ago and last week. 2 weeks ago, it was Sundry Foods. Then last week, it was GT Bank. They posted their job vacancies on LinkedIn. So you need to know the kind of social media platforms that you need to patronize, so that you'll be able to know when organizations are looking for people. Most organizations don't advertise on the papers anymore. Then another thing is that you need to be careful what you post on social media, because your recruiters will want to see who you really are. So you come and tell them, oh, you're responsible, you're this, you're that, you've got virtue. They want to see your social media handle. And your social media tells who you are. Your social media activities tell who you are. So you have to be very, very careful. Be sure that every time you interact, give yourself a reason apologizing or giving excuses. Explain and don't complain. Avoid explaining and avoid complain about something they feel is not in congruence with who you supposed to be. So if you tell people that you are, and your posts and your activities on social media, you're always engaged on cyber wars and cyber arguments, and you can argue, but you can argue professionally, and you don't necessarily need to argue about everything. Everybody. Do just get them off your space. It's simple. Your space. It's your prerogative on your social media space. All right. So let's get to that I call CRAW. CRAW. All right. So we're just going to talk about the competency. W is work ethics. So CRAW. If you want to in your workplace, then organization will tell you out for in a candidate. Organizations don't just say there's this job opening, just come. No, there are requirements. Some organizations even go as far as posting the job description, so that you'll know if you truly fit this position, if you're the right person for this position. So what it means is that competency is of hired. Nobody is going to hire anybody who is incompetent. Nobody in their right mind will hire somebody who is not competent. You might not be a superstar or a rock star in that field, but you must have some level of competency. So competency is key. Now, there are ways you can develop competency. You might be lucky to be in an organization that emphasizes personal development for their employees. You might be unlucky. So if you are lucky, what it means is that you get trained on the job. But beyond your organization training you, know that your person, your job is 150% your responsibility. I'll say it again. Your personal development on your job is 150% your responsibility. You cannot tell your boss that you cannot do this because you haven't been trained on it. You are paid. And you are paid to deliver an exceptional job. How you deliver that exceptional job is actually your prerogative. So whether your organization trains you formally or not, you have to find a way to train yourself and become competent on your job. Now, COVID has affected a lot of people's bottom line. So many organizations are actually scrapping their training budgets or reducing it. I know many organizations that have kept our training deals on hold since COVID happened. So I'm talking from experience. A lot of organizations have kept training on hold. And let me tell you another thing. Many organizations don't even have the budget for training before now. You actually have to tell them, convince them, and let them see what they stand to lose when they don't train their people. Because especially for small businesses, their argument is that you train them, you invest your time and energy and resources in them, and they leave you after a while. Is that true? Yes. It is true. But that doesn't stop organizations from training their people. And training could be formal or informal. Sometimes your training might be informal. The organization trains you in-house. They might not necessarily send you to a training school or to a consultant to train you, but they train you every day on the job. And you will know that you had grown from where you were when you joined that organization. The first job I ever did taught me so much. I didn't attend any formal training, but I learned so much on that job. I learned marketing on that job. I was coached. I was making mistakes and I was being put through. So would I say I wasn't trained? No, I was. I didn't have to go for a sales training in quotes, but every day I was being taught how to sell. I learned how to write a proposal there. I learned how to manage expatriates on that job without going for any formal training. I even learned how to drive because I needed to drive myself for my marketing calls. So I learned a lot. I learned relationship management, what to say, what not to say, how to behave in a corporate environment without necessarily attending any formal training. So some people will say, oh, my organization has never trained me. It's not always true. Training does not just happen when you have to leave your organization to go to a consultant to get trained. You can also learn from your colleagues. Learn from people who have been there before you. When I was in the bank, in as much as my bank was heavy on training, but there were things they wouldn't train me on everything. So I had to make friends with my senior colleagues, and they put me through a lot of things. They put me through a lot of things. Even before I attended those trainings formally, I already knew them. So you have to make it your business to learn. And some others, I had to read off from books. I had to develop myself. I always sought knowledge, always. And I got knowledge. You need to develop your competency. These days, you people are lucky. In my days, we didn't have all these online trainings. We didn't have them. We had to buy books, hard copy, to read, to develop ourselves. These days, you have e-books, e-everything, e-learning, e-coaching, e-motivation, a lot of them are free. So even if you cannot get a free one that would help you grow on your job, invest in yourself. And you know, when people tell me, oh, I just graduated, I don't have money, I don't buy it. Because a lot of fresh graduates use mobile phones that are 3 times the price of my mobile phone. Yes. A lot of fresh graduates put on wigs that I can't afford right now. So it boils down to priorities. A lot of undergraduates wear wristwatches that are 2 times or 3 times more expensive than mine. It's all in your priorities. So if you call personal development a priority, trust me, you will find the funds to embark on personal development. So what it means is that you have to rearrange your priorities. If you must get that dream job, and if you must grow on that job, you must invest heavily on developing yourself. So you must be competent. Because the moment your organization realizes that you're no longer competent, what you're simply telling them is that they can get somebody else for the job. And they gladly will. Because nobody wants to keep an incompetent person in their business. Even if the or Billy, it's only a matter of time before they bring somebody else to supervise you. And you wouldn't like that. That once upon a time you were a supervisor and now somebody else is supervising you. You don't want that. So if you must maintain your position, if you must grow, then your competency has to grow on a daily basis. Seek knowledge wherever it is. Formally, informally, just seek knowledge. So that is C. Remember the acronym CRAW. Right? So what is ours? Every organization wants people who deliver results. No excuses. No organization wants to keep people who make excuses. Oh, I couldn't show up early because there was traffic. Oh, I couldn't do it because my tummy was running. Oh, I couldn't. You know, excuses can be really frustrating. Did it once, yes. Twice, not exactly. The 3rd time, no. And let me tell you something. A lot of the people you're going to work with as supervisors who are high flyers will most likely be people who are impatient. Many high flyers, not all, but many of them are impatient people. Because these are people who are self-starters. These are people who are result-oriented. These are people who are fearless. These are people who don't give themselves or their bosses excuses. So they don't tolerate excuses from anybody. In fact, excuses irritate them. I'm just trying to prepare your mind. This is not to scare you. But you know, many times people don't tell us the truth about what happens in there. And that's why some people get a job and in 1 month, they resign from the job. The same job they prayed and fasted for, the same job they went through all the rigorous recruitment exercise to get, passed the test, went for training school, this, but they were never prepared for life inside the workplace. So many times, you're going to find yourself working with bosses who are impatient. They don't have that kind of time. They don't even have the time to train you. So if you must learn from them, you must learn from example. As they are working, you're imitating them. You just find a way to learn. They may not have the time to sit down and hold your hand to coach you. That is what it should be ideally. In an ideal situation, that's what it should be. But I'm telling you what the real situation is. Ideal situations don't always exist in the workplace. And don't blame your boss, because your boss's boss also doesn't spoon feed them. Your boss's boss also expects your boss to work things out themselves, to achieve results themselves. And know that if your job is 5 in number, your responsibilities are 5 in number, your boss's responsibilities are about 20. Know that your performance rests on your boss's shoulder as well. So anytime you're not pulling your weight, anytime you're not doing what you're supposed to do, your boss is looking at you as somebody who is actually pulling his performance, and he's not going to be happy with you, because your poor performance also reflects negatively on your boss's performance. So you must ensure that you're that person who produces results against all odds, without excuses. And let me tell you something. Bosses love people who produce results. Bosses are ready to encourage and support those team members who produce results. Almost all the time, except your boss has a personal issue with you, which happens once in a while, but not all the time. This situation doesn't happen all the time. Every boss wants a rock star team member who makes them shine. So make sure that whatever you do, you always achieve results, and timely. Timing is of the essence. Timing is very important. Timing is very important. So you achieve results. So we talked about C and R. Then we have A, attitude. You know, some people will say that, oh, this has become a cliche. We've heard it before. Your attitude determines your altitude. It's a cliche. Yes, cliches are cliches because they are so true that they are overused. It's just like telling someone thank you. Is thank you not overused? Is excuse me not overused? Is I'm sorry not overused? They are overused because they are necessary. So when you hear cliches or you see cliches, they are cliches because they are necessary. And that's why we use them every day. So they appear overused. Your attitude trumps your competency on the job. People have been fired severally for attitude issues. Superstars. They knew it. They were achieving results, but they were still fired. Because your attitude is your disposition. It's about how you manage yourself. It's about how you manage everything about you. It's about your manners. It's about your character. It's about everything about you. What kind of attitude do you exhibit? One, your attitude must be positive at all times. COVID has happened, yes. But you know, if non-performers have hidden behind COVID and they blame their poor performance on COVID. But if you go to LinkedIn or other social media platforms, you will still see people who celebrate their awards from their organizations despite COVID. Best in asset acquisition, best in liability acquisition, best in customer acquisition, best in this, best in that, best in compliance, best. Why are you not that best? Is this same person not affected by COVID? Why is yours different? Because your attitude will also determine your results. So if you keep blaming COVID, if you keep approaching work with a negative mindset, if you keep looking for every little excuse to go to bed and not pursue your organizational goals and the goals you have set for that financial year, if all you do is tell us all the reasons this can't work, You won't grow on your job, trust me. Your bosses will just tolerate you until they can't tolerate you anymore. There's nothing as refreshing as a positive attitude. A positive attitude brings energy. It brings light. It brings hope. A positive attitude is infectious. It's inspirational. It motivates people to action. So if you have somebody who constantly exudes positive vibes, even when you are low, this person uplifts your spirit. I mean, who doesn't want to be around such people? Now people will tell you, oh, this cannot be done because of, times are hard, businesses are slow. This millionaires and billionaires are being made, even in this COVID. You know that. You know some of them. A lot of new millionaires and new billionaires have been produced during this COVID era. Many. It's about re-strategizing. If you've been doing things in a particular way, and because of the pandemic, it's no longer working, re-strategize. Begin to look for opportunities in this crisis, and guess what? You'll find it. Because wherever energy goes is where attention goes as well. If you put your energy saying that it can't work, your whole attention will be diverted to the fact that it can't work. If you put your energy saying that there must be a way, your attention will be focused on finding a way. It is that simple. So every team leader, every supervisor, every manager, every organization wants people who possess and who exhibit a positive mindset all the time, even when the ship is sinking. Until the ship has sunk, you can't say that it's over. So it's not over until it's over. So positive attitude brings energy, hope, light, enthusiasm. So another attitude you need to exhibit is an attitude of humility. You must be a humble person. To grow on your job, you must exhibit humility. Humility is very important. We can't even overemphasize this. Even if you are a superstar, stay humble. Stay humble. Proud people don't last in organizations. Arrogant people don't last in organizations. And you know that arrogant people always believe they are right all the time. Arrogant people find up and admit that they are wrong. So arrogant people believe they know it all. So there's no room for admitting mistakes. There's no room for humility. No supervisor can stand a subordinate who is arrogant. Many times when I train employees and they begin to complain about their boss, their choice of words, their body language, their voice tonality speak louder than everything they are saying. And they just know that this person's attitude is very bad. And all the time, when I professionally begin to explain to them why they are the reason, they are always fighting with their boss or with their bosses, they admit it. All the time, not some of the time. They eventually admit. Because I'm a neutral person and they know I can't judge them. So they open up and they tell me, I was taking a particular organization on customer service, and one of the participants told me that every time he wanted to help customers will that customers become hostile and still complain about him helping them, and the way he was throwing his hands, his hand gestures, his voice tonality, his facial expression, as he was trying to complain about his customers, got me really worried. And I had to stop him in his tracks. And I said, young man, if you are using this tone, if I am your consultant and you are explaining your frustration with your customers like this, then those customers must be in hell, really. And he stopped. And you know, that class was just watching him in complete surprise. In fact, they were wondering how the customers ever coped with him. And then I asked the class, the rest of the class, what they thought about how he was explaining his situation to me. And all of them said that if they were the customers, they would leave the organization completely. So he realized that he was the problem. And that was when change began. Positive change began. And later, he came to thank me to say that he had worked on his attitude. That class opened his eyes and he realized that he was a problem and not the customers. So you need to work on developing a positive attitude, humility, very important. You have to have the attitude of a go-getter. You need to be result-oriented. Everybody wants somebody who possesses a can-do spirit. You need to be a team player. You must not be somebody who brings bad energy to the team. But if you spill bad blood all the time in the team, trust me, your team leader, your supervisor, your manager, or even the organization will be glad to let you go, because one person cannot make a whole business. What it simply means is that you'll extend your attitude to the customers, and the customers will suffer. And when customers begin to complain, chances are that they're going to leave the organization. And no organization wants to lose one customer. Not at this time. Because it's going to take like 5 times the same energy and effort to win back an aggrieved customer. So you'll be spending time trying to pacify an aggrieved customer when you should actually spend that time going after new customers. So positive attitude is very important. Humility is very important. Can-do spirit is very important. So that is CRA. Now we're going to W, work ethics. You have to possess very strong work ethics. You need to be punctual to work. You need to be trustworthy. You need to be dependable. You need to be accountable. So let's go to punctuality. Very important in business. When you start early, you finish early. When you start early, you can take on many more tasks. You need to be dependable. You should be somebody that your boss or your supervisor or your manager should give a task and he can go to bed. That was one thing that my bosses enjoyed about me. You wouldn't give me a task and be wondering if I would execute it. I hate to give my bosses excuses up to now. And you know, I'm a consultant right now, but I am still loyal to the people I worked with over a decade ago. Yes. Because I build relationships and I love to nurture and keep relationships. They will ask me for anything and rest assured that I will deliver. Even now that I'm not in their payroll, they trust me that much. So you must have very strong work ethics. Punctuality is very important. Dependability is very important. Accountability is very important. I've been running a 1-month Instagram series, and one of the topics we discussed last week, the whole of last week, was accountability. You must be accountable. You must take responsibility for every task that is given to you. You must give reports on every task that is given to you. You don't need to be told. It's not everything that is written. Oh, you didn't tell me to get. How could you not be told? Imagine that you are the owner of a house, you have a domestic help, and you send the person on an errand. Go shop for groceries. When the person comes back, shouldn't the person show you the groceries they bought? Should the person give you your change, if there's change? The person doesn't need to be told. There are things that don't need to be spelled out. These things are unwritten rules. But in some cases, they are even spelled out. I have positions that have to chase and chase and chase for reports. When your boss asks you for a report, it is because that report is important. Reports are used for decisions. They are used for decision making. They are used for strategizing. Reports are not just reports. Reports are very important to your organization. So you need to ensure that you are accountable. You are asked to deliver on a task, deliver on that task, and render your report. Whether you are asked or not, render the report, let your boss tell you, oh, I didn't need it. And you can, rendering your report mustn't always be written. It could be verbal. But if your boss asks you to send the reports in writing, by all means, for documentation purposes, for easy retrieval, and for reference sake. So we can say a whole lot about work ethics. A whole lot. Professionalism. You must be professional in your dealings. Talk professionally. Write professionally. Interact professionally. Don't ever take anybody for granted. Many times, part of what organizations complain to me about is that some of their employees take their customers for granted because they've known them for a while. So they become too informal in the way they interact with customers. Now, a lot of things happen online these days. Please, I beg you people, be careful about your choice of words online. Especially when you interact with people on social media. I have seen people jump on my timeline without good morning, good afternoon, hello, nothing. I saw an advert on XYZ. I want to be. I had to recruit for my customers severally. And I had to ignore a lot of people's chats. In fact, they failed before they even started. Because it just jumped on my timeline. I'm interested in the position of da, 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 da. And I just ignored. You have failed before you even started. You don't know somebody, you're meeting somebody for the first time, you start with hi. Hi what? Hi what? What happened to good morning, good afternoon, good evening? Be formal until the person decides that you shouldn't be formal anymore. Err on the path of caution. A lot of people abuse social media. They lack social media etiquette. You use abbreviations for people you don't know. For your boss, you're using abbreviation for your boss. You don't use abbreviation for your boss. You start putting emojis that you don't even know their meaning, or emojis that can be misinterpreted. So you need to be very, very careful when you are interacting online. So I'm going to end it here so that we can, our time is already fast spent, so that we can take questions. I guess that would also help me to know and some of the things that you want me to clarify. Okay, so remember CRAW. CRAW, C for competency, R for results, A for attitude, and W for work ethics. Okay, so I can take your questions now.
Thank you so much, Ma. That was a beautiful session, and wow. Sometimes when, okay, let me use myself as a the place.
Rose, you're breaking. I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now, Ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I said I'll use myself as a good example to explain my question. So I'm currently a core member serving in an establishment, a broadcast establishment. And prior to working in that,
You're breaking, seriously. Can you hear me?
okay, is it? Yes, I can hear you, ma.
Okay, could you say that again?
Okay, yeah. So I said I'll use myself as an example to explain my question. So I'm currently a core member serving in a broadcast establishment, and before I joined, I've been privileged to do small work, get some experience and exposure, before I joined them. But then I noticed that there's this kind of condescending attitude that they usually give to core members who come to serve with them. They think you don't know anything, and sometimes you have to struggle so much to just access opportunities, even when it is obvious that you can do this thing. So I'm having this difficulty of learning how to market myself without seeming arrogant, without feeling like I want to take their shine or I want to come and take over their work. So just let them know that I am just seeking opportunity to grow and become better. So my question is, how can newcomers, in a new job, market themselves effectively without seeming arrogant?
Okay, first is that when you get into a new place, try to build relationship. Try to build relationship. You build relationship with people, they will get to know your person, and they will get to know who you are, and your intentions will not be in question. Now, whenever a new person is introduced to any new establishment, it doesn't matter the establishment, there's always this tension. The default mode is that of rebellion. Like, who is this new person? It's just like when you drop a new fish in the pond, the rest of the fish in the pond are alert. Like, something new has just happened here. There's a stranger in our midst. It's human nature. So everybody is watching you. You are a suspect until you prove yourself not to be a threat. So it's on you to begin to develop relationships. Have allies everywhere you go. And this goes in, let me even digress a bit. Even when you enter relationships and you're getting married, to somebody's family, like, hey, this Rose, she looks too fine. I hope she's not going to be arrogant. This is her hairstyle. She looks like a very expensive person, high maintenance, this, that. It might even be your sister's dress that you borrowed. It might even be that the hairstyle you had on was made free of charge. It might be a gift. Do you understand? But they've seen you, and there's something we call a threshold effect in psychology. They begin to analyze you, your level of exposure, your academic level, your level of your financial status, your religion, they begin to analyze a lot of things about you, and they will conclude whether they like you or not. These things happen in 5 seconds, not more than 5 seconds. Did anybody send them? No. But the thing is that you also do it to people. So you look at somebody, this is Madame Noella's hairstyle. This woman looks like a yuppie consultant. Okay, she wears Ankara. Okay, what it means is that she likes Ankara. You're just analyzing people without paying attention. So this is how people also analyze you. And just know that anytime you enter a new environment, the default mode is that of suspicion first. So they suspect you before they get close to you. So look for allies, okay, who will understand you, and those people will begin to influence other people. But just make sure that you also make the right choice of words, and that your attitude is not in question. It starts from you. Make sure that your attitude is not in question. Make sure you use the right choice of words. Make sure you are bold. Humility is always admirable to me. So if you know it, don't come to them like you know so much. I like it when people ask them to teach them something, because it gives them some kind of power. Okay, I'm teaching her. Do you understand? You can ask them, I'm new. I don't know how do you do this? How do you do that? So you're shifting power from yourself to them. So they feel good. I'm teaching this copper, So it could help. Does this answer help?
Yes, it helps a lot.
Great.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you. I really appreciate your answers and the session. I'm going to put it into practice. I was right as you were speaking. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you.
Okay, ma. So
your screen is frozen.
Okay, I think it's network because I can see you and I can hear you clearly.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, I think it's network. Okay,
is there
but there's another question. Yes, there's another question on the screen. So someone says,
yeah. See if I can read this. Is it better to have a group of organizations doing closely related things that I dream to work with? What's this? Of them. This is so tiny. I can barely read this. Okay, could you read it out for me?
Yes. The person is asking. Okay. The person is asking is it better to have a group of organizations doing closely related things that I dream to work with, one of them eventually, or to focus on a particular organization and position myself? So I think the person
give yourself options. Don't focus on a particular organization, but you need to set standards for yourself. For example, I told myself I was going to work in the top 10 with one of the top 10 banks in Nigeria. So I didn't limit myself to a particular bank, but I knew that I wanted to work with a particular category of banks, one of the top 10. Okay, so even when there were job openings in the rest, I didn't bother writing their tests because I didn't want to pass and not accept their, consider that to be arrogant. So I didn't bother. So I was always, those were the only ones I wrote their tests. And of course, I worked with one of the top 3.
Okay.
So give yourself options. Don't limit yourself to a particular organization, please.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, ma. I think that's the last question that we'll be having this evening for you, ma. So how can we connect with you, ma?
Pardon?
How can we connect with you?
Oh, my social media handles are at Noella Ugu, LinkedIn at Noella Ugu, Instagram at Noella Ugu, Twitter at Noella Ugu. Okay, let me see if I can type it here. At Noella. So for Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, that's my handle. Okay, so you can just connect with me, and WhatsApp 0703-051-4885. Feel free to contact me on WhatsApp for any further questions anytime. Just send me a WhatsApp message, okay? Because I'm usually at sessions like this, so it's difficult for me to pick calls when they are ringing. But if you send me a WhatsApp message, rest assured I will definitely get back to you. 070.
Please, ma'am, could you call the WhatsApp number?
4885. What did you say?
Okay, I was asking if you could repeat the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number. I was asking if you could repeat.
I just
sent
it.
Yeah, I can see it now, ma. All right.
Okay. So if you have any further questions, please just send it to me on WhatsApp and I will respond. Right?
All right. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much. I personally appreciate your time, and you've spoken, for. Can you hear me, ma?
Okay. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your job search, and I wish you feeling growth on your job when you get it, please take your job very seriously and make sure that you do everything within your power to keep whatever job God has given you. Because everywhere you are planted is for a reason. There's always something to learn. Even if it is just meeting the people there, it's for a reason. Because you don't know where you're going to meet those people you meet in your workplace. That is one thing that has always led me. Relationships. Don't miss the power of relationships. Everywhere you go, build relationships. Don't ever burn your bridges. Never. Never. Even if your boss was a tyrant, was a witch or a wizard, make sure that if you're going to lead that organization, still maintain a cordial relationship with that boss. 10 years down the line, you might meet that boss at a place where you can meet them. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. That was powerful. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right.
I wish you guys
Thank you
all
so
the
much.
best. Bye.
Yeah. Yes. Bye, ma'am. Okay, that was a powerful session. Thank you so much, Ma. I enjoyed listening to you, watching you speak. So we're moving into the next session. Our next speaker is already very available, but I want to make sure that you can still hear me because I think my network fluctuated a bit. So I was even finding it difficult to hear myself clearly. Okay, so please, if you can hear me, if you can still hear me, thank you so much. Please say something. Say something in the comment section if you can hear and see me. I need to make sure that I have fixed whatever problem that it was with. So please say something in the comment section if you can see me and if you can hear me. It's very important so that okay, so someone can hear me. So I think that was a bit fluctuation in network. Thank you so much for staying put. So that was a beautiful session by Madam Noella Ugu, and I hope you take advantage of all the communication platforms that she made available. It's not everyone who finds it so easy to give out their WhatsApp numbers because that's like somehow private. But for her to have given it out, please take advantage of it and ensure you also follow her on all her social media handles so that so ensure you follow her on all her social media handles so that you get premium packages. She's doing amazing things and she's a growth coach. She's definitely someone you need in your life. So now we're moving into the final session for today. I mean, we're going to have a US-based person talk to us today, and me, I like US matter. I like abroad matter. So you can imagine how excited that I am to be welcoming the next speaker and the final speaker for the Built to Last Virtual Career and Business Summit, proudly brought to you by the Double Edged Impact Network. So yes, we're going to be having the honor of hosting Mrs. Comfort Mwaboso. I beg your pardon. Madam Comfort Mwaboso is an entrepreneur based in the United States of America, a woman of many hats. Madam Comfort is a purpose-driven coach who, with a desire to help individuals discover their God-given purpose and how to go all out in maximizing their potentials. She runs a Facebook group where she encourages women to go after their dreams and purposes through her regular teachings on mindset shifts, family finance, and marriage. Madam Comfort, before she ventured into entrepreneurship, spent over a decade in the financial sector, first as a banker and then as an insurance broker, where she helped over 24 families design an effective insurance for themselves against emergencies. Aside running her businesses, she also helps struggling entrepreneurs to find their footing. Madam Comfort Mwaboso is happily married with 3 beautiful kids. Ladies and gentlemen, please do us the honor of putting your hands together and sending all the fire emojis as we bring to you this evening Madam Comfort Mwaboso from the United States of America.
Hello. The pressure is on. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Say that again, Rose. I couldn't hear you.
You sound lovely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me though? Can you all hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. The screen is blank.
Oh, oh wow. What am I supposed to do? It said you're in the show. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to click here. Um,
There's um, there's a camera icon right beside the mic icon. If you can tap it, I think
oh, okay.
yes, we can see you now.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You said my camera is on. So, so can they see me now? Can they see me?
We can see you and hear
You can
you
see
and
me.
now ask question.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Good, 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 good. Oh my goodness. I want to say thank you to every one of you guys. Thank you. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the feedback. They said they can see me, they can hear me. Wow, I am so honored to be, a part of this program. I really want to say thank you to every speaker that have gone ahead of me. I mean, it's amazing. It's just these people have poured their hearts. It's like a big brother thing, talking to a younger sister or younger brother, say, this is what you need to do. We went through this route, and we know that if you follow this path, even look at Miss Noella. Oh my God, I've been backstage listening to her. I'm definitely going to be connecting with her. She is so amazing. It was just, I mean, she was just right on, like she wasn't mixing words, just gave it to us the way it is. And I'm glad that I really hope that we will we would put most of the things she shared with us into practice. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. So I'm so glad to be here. I don't want to waste our time. I know I happen to be the last speaker, and so I decided to wear my African attire because I'm like, when they call US, it's like there's this thing that people are hoping that they will see, but this is I'm a real African woman, So I just want to let you guys know that I'm a part of you. I'm one of you guys, and I'm just honored to be here to be encouraging us. You know, um, I'm known for purpose. And I believe that every one of us we were created with a purpose. God had a plan, in mind when He created you, when He created me. So we're not here to mark time. Thank you. We're not here to mark time at all. We're here with a design. God had a design, in mind. When I think about a producer, somebody that produces maybe like an electronics. Some of these electronics that are very, technical. You're like, man. Sometimes we buy these things and we want to, put it together ourselves, and then you try and try and try and like, you know what, I can do this. Let me just get a manual. Honestly, that's how our lives is. Our creator, the one that created us, had a plan in mind. So when you are confused about, your purpose, about what you were created to, what you were created for, it's good to go back to your creator, which is of course your God. Go back to God and say, God, why am I here? What is the purpose? What am I here to do? I know I'm not here to mark time. I know I'm here for a purpose. What is that, plan? What is that your plan that you had in mind when you created me? And one of the things I wanted to talk about is, what is purpose? Because if we don't know the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable. You will abuse that, whatever it is, if you don't know the purpose. He said the purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. We're going somewhere. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So the question to you is, what are you existing for? What are you created for? It's a personal question. It's a question you have to answer for yourself or by yourself. What am I here to do? What are you here to do? There's got you of course we're here for a reason. And so when you think about people that commit suicide, and I'm going to be as real as possible as God helps me. when you think about the hopelessness people have when they give up in life, because they, of course, they've concluded, I'm not here to, I don't have any purpose. I'm just here wasting my time. Let me just take it. And people commit suicide or whatever the case may be. It is a very tragic thing, because the truth is that God has a purpose. You have a purpose. You were created for something. You are here to make a difference. You are. So the question now is, are you living out your purpose? Are you? Are you living out your purpose? It's a question that we have to answer. You have to answer. I have to answer that. So then, your purpose, I want us to understand that purpose, when we talk about purpose, it's not something that is out there like, I can achieve it. Okay, your purpose, let's bring it home. It is that thing you're passionate about. It's simple as that. It's that thing that it's even a free gift to you. Some of us, I know a lot of us here that are watching or that will watch later, we are graduates, from universities and things like that. So of course we've been exposed to sometimes, even because of the Nigerian factor, some of us end up with a course that we have no reason doing. We're doing something that has nothing to do with what we really want to do. But because of the factors in our country, which I understand, we end up with something that and then you're struggling because that is not for you. That is not you. That is not your purpose. That is not why you were created. Some of us are good with kids. Maybe you read engineering, but your purpose is really to open a school, a daycare, and just take care of kids, impacting the next generation. What about leadership? So you see that, and like I said, I'm aware of our Nigerian factors. So I'm very aware of that. So when I'm saying the things I'm saying knowing that these things happen. But the truth is that beyond that, there is a purpose for which you were created. And you say, how do I identify it? How do I identify this thing? It is easy. What are you passionate about? What do you have passion for? What are you passionate about? And when we say passionate or or having passion, it could be something you may see. You may go somewhere, for instance, and you like something, and that thing excites you. That is a clue to what your purpose is. Anywhere you see that thing, you come alive. And sometimes it's actually the opposite. It's something you hate to see. Because you're like, I don't like this thing. I really want to change. If I have opportunity, I want this thing to change. So these are the clues on how you can know your purpose. You either like that thing or you don't even like it at all. And you have this desire to bring a change. And like I said, sometimes it's even, just, cooking. Some of us, we've read all this high, this education, we've gone to school, we've done this first degrees and second degree and all of those, and all the degrees that we have, and as good as they are. Do you know some of us, our purpose really, we love to cook so much so that even if they don't pay you, you will still cook. That's how much you like it. I'm making it so simple because I don't want us to look at it as this big thing out there. I'm trying to come to our level to make it simple, because a lot of us we're struggling because we are doing something that had nothing to do with what we are passionate about, what we love to do. It may be cooking, maybe opening a restaurant tomorrow. So have a vision. There is something, and the truth is that maybe right now you're just doing what you have to do, but ultimately you know that there is, you're going somewhere. So it's okay to have a vision board even. I know that right now I'm working as a secretary, for instance. You use that as, I'm working as a secretary right now. But you know what? I know that my desire is to open a restaurant where I can cook this, or my desire is to open a daycare or a school or this, or a leadership training center or this. Have it. Write it down. The Bible says that my people perish for lack of vision. So have a vision. It's okay. Even put it on paper and look at it every day. Let it be in the mirror because especially for those of us that are women, we always go to the mirror. So much so. Make a vision board and write it out. This is where I see myself in 5 years, in 2 years, however long. So, and like I said, I just said the ways that the clues, something you're passionate about, something you love, something you don't even like and you want to change. These are the ways that you can actually, and sometimes these are free gifts, freely given to you. These are gifts. You have natural gifts that are, it's just a natural thing. Like I said, like taking care of kids, like cooking, like, leadership. You just have this thing about leadership. When you show up, everybody loves, they want to hear you speak. It's like when you think about one of what do you call that now? Our ex-president in the United States, Barack Obama. I know a lot of you know, of course, you've heard him so many times, but there's something about when that man speaks. I mean, he's such an orator that you just want to see, you want to leave everything you're doing to just see that. That's a gift. That is a gift, natural gift that he has. You want to listen, you can listen to him all day long. And look inwardly. Look inwardly. What is that thing that comes to you naturally? And sometimes all you need to do is to enhance that thing. Tweak it a little bit, and then you will explode with it. So don't commonize what you have, because that's one thing I've noticed about our people. We tend to look at other people. Oh, you see her, she has this, so I don't have that. So because of that, no, we can't all have the same thing. We cannot all have the same thing. There is something you have that I don't have. There is something you have that I need, and there is something that I need that I have, that you need. So we're supposed to complement each other with our gift. So I'm here to say tonight, please stop looking down on your gifts. I remember sharing this with Mr. Victor the other time when we were talking. I knew I was reading. I was on Facebook one day, and I stumbled into a post, and it was this young man that went to I think it was University of Benin, somewhere in Benin, and he read Agric. And having done that, this young man had a desire to, when he graduated, he got a little land and started farming. And, of course, being a graduate also, he knew how to mix and match and put a lot of things together. And this guy is doing so well right now in Nigeria. He's doing Agric. Some of us will commonize it. Agric, he's a farmer. Please, you are fooling yourself. I'm sorry to say that, because that may be your gift. That may be your gift. It is freely given to you. It's a free gift from God to you. So stop commonizing it. I believe if that's all I've come to tell you tonight, I'm hoping that will make a difference. Don't commonize what you have. Now, after you found your purpose, now you know your purpose. Now you know why you were here. Now you're looking inwardly. You're saying, man, yeah, amen. Now that you're looking inwardly and you're discovering, you're asking yourself, it's true, I can do this. Oh, I'm naturally good at this. I'm very good at this. Then you've got to do something with it. You've got to. Now you got to activate it. You need to activate that gift. because you don't want to let it sit there. Because if it sit there, then it's going to be there. I'm told of a brother, the late brother Max Morrow. He said the graveyard is so sad. Is there's so many talents and gifts and purposes. When you want to know where you have so many of that, it's in the graveyard. You know why? A lot of us are chickened. Okay, let me use another word. We are so afraid to pursue that thing that has been deposited in us. So we settle for less. We don't want to go, we don't want to pursue it. We're so scared. Oh, what if, what if, what if? And so we die without achieving that thing, that purpose for which we were created. And it's a sad thing. It is really sad. So when you know what you were here to do, when you know that, you know what, I'm here to make a difference by leading or by giving or by teaching or whatever it is, you have to activate it. You got to put it into action. You begin to do something about it. Do something. If you don't do something about it, it will just be an idea that just ends up in your head. So activation, action, action. You say, how? What you're about to do right now, or that thing you're desiring to do, or that thing that is being freely given to you. If you look around, there are people that are already doing it. There are people that are already doing that thing already. So, as a wise person, what do? You seek coaches. You seek mentorship. You can even go to these people and say, you know what, sir or ma, I really want to, someday I hope to run a daycare of my own, or I hope to open a training center in the future. But I really don't know so much about it. Can I volunteer? It's okay to volunteer. You can even volunteer to go out there and begin to learn. See, you don't have to pay me or maybe take a little money, because hopefully you still have your job that you're doing. But because you know ultimately this is what I want to do, you can begin to volunteer in places like that and begin to, give yourself to training. You begin to learn. You begin to learn. And if you're humble enough, like our sister said earlier, Miss Noella, if you're humble enough, it's just a matter of time. Your name will be announced. I hope I'm making sense. If you're humble enough to learn, thank you. Volunteer. Go out and learn from people that are already doing what you want to do. I'm reminded of Moses in the Bible. I'm a faith-based woman, so I have to use the Bible. I can't help myself. Forgive me. When God came to Moses, and God said, Moses, of course he saw this amazing sight. There's fire, but you can't see anything. Like there's this thing burning, and you're like, whoa, what is going on here? Now, after God got his attention, and God said, I want you to go ahead and, rescue my people from Egypt. And he said, God, I'm a stammerer. God said, I know that. This, I already know that. I'm the one that created you. And he's like, but I don't have this, I don't have that. God asked him, what is in your hand? He said, stick. It's just an ordinary stick. You see, to Moses, it was an ordinary stick. So what if that gift that you have, that thing God has blessed you with, what if you're commonizing it? He said, it's just an ordinary stick. It's nothing, just ordinary. God said, you see that stick? Okay, I'm going to show you something. Of course, we saw how that played out. God asked him to drop it on the ground. It turned to a snake, he ran. I said, okay, pick it from the tail. What was God trying to show him? It's true you are commonizing that thing. You're commonizing the stick to be nothing, but I can use it. So whatever giftings you have, whatever thing that you have that have been dormant, do you know God can use it? Yes, God can. He can use it if you let him, because he's not going to force himself. He can use it. So let us, and don't compare, don't compete. I see a lot of competition going on. People try to compete. You don't need to compete. You can collaborate. Like I said, you've got something that I need. I've got something you need. So we're not supposed to be in competition. You say, oh, okay, she's a good singer. So even though you know you are not a very good singer, you want to go ahead and sing or audition for sing. Come on, why are you fooling? That's not your gift. And it's okay, because you're definitely good at something. There's got to be something you're very good at. Now, I may be good at, it's just even in marriage relationship. My husband is good at, there are things that he's so good at that I will not even smell it. And so when it comes to that, I'm like, I just back off. I'm like, you're good at this. I'm not going to struggle with it. I'm just going to back off and let you do your thing. And the same way, when it's time for me to shine, if it's something that he knows that I can do, he back off. That's how it is. Yes, God has given us something. Don't look down on anything that you have. Don't. We collaborate, absolutely. We're not in competition with nobody. As a matter of fact, if you want to be in competition to yourself. In other words, I want to get better. I'm right here at this level, but I really want to get better. So I'm going to give myself to learning. I'm going to give myself to coaching. I'm going to give myself to mentorship. Be in competition with yourself. Don't be in competition with nobody. Because at the end of the day, you got to remember that we all came to this world at different time, different months, that's why people have birthdays, different birthdays, It's very rare to see people that were born exactly the same date, the same time, it's rare. So because we all came in at different times, we're also going to exit at different times. So there's no need for competition. If you don't put action to your purpose, it will lead to frustration. And so what will you now start doing? You start saying, look at them. And then sometimes you even talk down on people that didn't do you nothing. Well, they did something with their gift. So you've got to do something with your gift. Because if you don't, you get frustrated. And how do you start? By not looking down on what you have. Don't look down on it. Discouragement may come in the pursuit as you begin to pursue your purpose, as you begin to pursue that gifting, as you begin to discover and want to do something about it. You may actually get discouraged. People may not even understand when you tell people, say, I see myself one day owning a beauty, a boutique, for instance, where I'm going to sell clothes, African clothes or American clothes or whatever. They're like, this person is crazy. They'll be able to tell you, please, because sometimes they commonize you based on your current situation. They're looking at your current situation and they're telling you, forget it. You can't do it. You can't. But you see, I saw this thing once, not too long ago, a quote. It said, no one else is supposed to understand your calling. It wasn't a conference call. No one else is supposed to understand your calling. Because when you were told about it, it was not on a conference call basis. So if you think that people will, when you start sharing your purpose or your vision, or that thing that you desire to do, because you have it comes natural to you, people will not, they will say you are crazy. So they will say you've lost it. But you should remind yourself that, you know what, this is something that I know that I've been given, and I'm going to do something about it. So by so doing, you are not you will avoid discouragement, because like I said, even sometimes it's even your immediate family that will be so they will discourage you so much, so they'll be like, please go sit down. Or maybe as a graduate, you now come and say, mommy, daddy, I want to I really want to go into music, or I want to go into acting, or I want to go. They'll be like, what? So after you've gone to college and you've or university, and you spent all that money, you want to go and just end your life? So they will say all manner of things. You just want to end your life to go and do acting. Ha. Oh no. So, but you know what you want out of life. So if you're wise, right, like I said, make a vision statement of what you want, where you're going, and how you plan to get there. It's important, because people will definitely, your best friends will not, they will they will even abandon you and say you're on your own on this one, because they don't see what you're seeing. They can't see it. I hope this is making sense. Yes, it's not a conference call. It's you. It's custom designed for you. It's a custom made. It's like you go to tailor now and say, tailor, just show me any kind of, just use any measurement. Can you imagine what what that kind of material I mean, what that kind of outfit will look like? So instead of maybe the tailor is like, no, come, or the fashion designer, come, let me measure you. Say, no, 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 no. Just do it just use any measurement. Ah, that's a problem. So they're probably going to sew something and you're going to be like, no, I can't wear this. Well, you told them. Yes, you told them to do anything. So as somebody that have a vision and a purpose, it's a tailor-made thing for you. So people are definitely may not understand where you're coming from or where you're going to. So be ready to be discouraged. But the truth is, you've got to encourage yourself and say, you know what? As a matter of fact, these people may not even understand what is going on. They will not. They will not understand, because this thing is something that is burning inside of me. I'm the only one that know it. I'm the only one that understand it. They don't understand it. They don't see it. You're the one that saw. You're seeing your future. You see where you're going with that. You see where you're going to be with that. But they don't see that. So I'm reminded of the story of David in the Bible, how David was so they went to war, and their wives were his friends were their wives were taking their property, and so many things were taken. And we saw how they were even threatening to kill David. You are the one that caused this. You are the one. If not, we will not be suffering. See, now our wives have been taken away, our children. Do you know? Imagine for a minute how David, what was going on in that man's mind. They were even threatening to kill him. I can imagine this man goes into a closet, into a room, and hide himself and say, God, help me. Help me here. And the Bible said he encouraged himself in the Lord. He had to draw strength within. It was an inner strength from within. He had to. So that's what I want you to do. And remember, you can start small. So when you start a thing, don't think, imagine people that have been doing this thing now that you're about to do. They've been doing it for 20, 40 years. And then you want to just jump, boom, into it. It's not possible now. You start small, little by little by little, until as you begin to do that, you'll be amazed if you stay focused. Stay focused. And you can always go back and review where, how far you've gone. Because think about it. If you have a vision of maybe opening a daycare, and right now maybe you are volunteering to learn how daycares are run and things like that. Maybe every 3 months or every 6 months you go back, or even a year, and say, How far have I gone? Okay, I've been able to do this now. Okay, good. So the next step is this. And you begin to take those baby steps. I'm telling you, it won't be long. It will not be long. You'll be amazed at yourself. But you've got to keep the vision alive. You've got to keep it in view. Make a vision statement of what and where you're going. And as you do that, you'll be amazed at what can happen. I'm going to pause at this point, and maybe if we have any question, I will gladly answer one or two questions. And I hope I've been able to say one or two things that made sense to us.
Of course, but you said plenty things that made plenty sense, which is why question. Yeah, so I'm going to ask mine in the hope that someone else would ask theirs. So some people usually believe that purpose is something that, just like you've established, is the reason for which something exists. But can someone give themselves a purpose? You know, let's say I am praying and believing that God should, point me towards the right direction. But can I give myself a purpose? Can I just say, okay, this is what I want to do with my life, and so this is what I'm going to do? Or is there that place of divine direction and guidance in discovering purpose?
Now, the way I want to approach that is to say, whatever you find to do it. Even the Bible says, whatever your hands find to do it with everything you've got. And I remember Miss Noella even mentioned something like that. So it may be right now, maybe you find yourself, like for instance, Rose, like you find yourself in a studio where you're learning, broadcasting and things like that. Well, give it your best. Trust me, if it's really not meant for you, it's just a matter of time. Things will begin. You will not find any joy. There will be no, you'll be like, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to do. If you truly, so as you can't just come up and say, I will make you. I don't even know how to put it. You coming up with a purpose and say, this is what I want to do. Well, fine. If you want to go that route, but if it's not really what you are meant to do, it's a matter of time. It will not. It won't last. It will not last because you may be lying to yourself, because that may not be your true purpose. That may not really be. Like I said, it's something that this purpose thing is something. It's so simple. It's like you, Miss Rose. Let's say you're good with broadcasting, but you say no. I don't want to do that. I want to go. I want to give myself the purpose of opening a daycare. Well, you're going to get frustrated because you don't like kids. Maybe you're not the kind of person that you like working with adults. You don't like working with children. So if you jump into something like that, it's just a matter of time. You'll get frustrated because it's not meant for you. You are just going against what you naturally would do. I don't know if that makes sense, my dear.
Yes, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So I'm checking to see if there are other questions. Please, if you have questions, this would be the time to put them in the comment section so that our speaker can address it before leaving. She has spent so much time and so much value has been given. So if there are gray areas, please put them in the comment section so that we can read them out and have answers provided for you.
Hey, Rose, let me quickly also add that I understand that in the bid to want to discover our purpose and our vision in life, we may not be there right now. So you may be doing something that has nothing to do with your purpose, but it's okay. You stay the course. As you're doing this thing you're doing right now, but you know that you're going somewhere. So that vision keeps you alive. So you may start, that's why I say you may start small, little by little by little, even though you have a full-time job that you don't even have any passion about, but that's okay. But give it your best at least. While you're working towards where you really want to go. And as God sees that desire to want to do good, to want to get there, He will help you. He will send the right people to your path. And even you, sometimes you have to go out and sort for those people yourself. Like I said, something about what do you call that now? Something about uh, I was going to say something and then I saw a question popped up. But anyway, start little and then grow from there. And I can read the message, the question myself. Ma, as a university student, there's this issue of our parents wanting us to focus on academics. Okay. How do we then start learning the ropes of what our purpose entails? I remember mentioning something like that earlier. So if, okay, if you look, I know you went to school, you got the graduate, and it's good. The exposure is good because the thing about university, you go through this grinding, learning, and all that. So it actually helps you. It helps your English. It helps so many things. You're more vocal and things like that. But the truth is, if what you learn in school, for instance, has nothing to do what you truly, it's like I know of parents, and I'm a parent today, but I know of parents that want their kids to do medical, to go into medical, to be doctors,
Yeah.
for instance. And these kids have no desire for anything that has to do with medical. And it's so, even as a parent, it frustrates me when I see, because these parents are like, my son, he has to be a medical doctor. He has to be this. And I'm like, but this child has no inclination to become a doctor. You are frustrating this child's life. So this child goes into the university, just to please the parents. They go in there and they come out frustrated and they end up not becoming anything. You should have just guided the child into say, you know what? I see, even as a parent now, I have 3 children. I see where they're good at. I can see what they're good at individually. They don't like the same thing. They don't like, I mean, they're so different. And so my job is to guide them, to channel them. So like for one of the things that I do, when we go to the library, I say, okay, you astronaut, go get your astronaut book. You scientist, go get your scientist book. And you, a veterinary doctor, go and get veterinary doctor books. And because I want them to love what they want to do. I don't want to impose, okay, because I'm a banker, so you must be a banker, or because I'm this, or because I want to feel ego. I want to feel like I have this, which is what our parents, sometimes that's what happens. They want to feel that, because they have invested all of this money in us, and then so if you don't go the routes that they want you to go, then you have let them down. And like I said, you may be doing that, but ultimately know that you are going somewhere. Because it's just a matter of time. That gifting, that thing inside of you, it will gain expression. So you may be in something that you really don't want to do, but maybe you just have to do it right now. But begin to walk towards what you really, really want to do. I don't know if that makes sense, my dear. I don't know if that even answers the question. Begin to pursue. So that way, but it's hard to please everybody. You can't please everybody. That's just the truth. So you've got to tell yourself the truth. What do I want out of life? And then go for it. Because if you keep your life pleasing your parents or pleasing everybody else, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to end up not fulfilling your purpose. So you've got to make up your mind to say, you know what? Right now, I'm a secretary. Let me be doing that. But I really want to open a daycare tomorrow. I really want to have a boutique, or I really want to run an agency of this and that, and begin to work towards it little by little by little by little. Okay, thank you. She said I answered it. Okay, thank God for that.
Oh wow, thank you so much, Matt. Thank you. It's been an amazing session so far, and I personally find it very interesting, because this topic of purpose is something that is often misconceived. So thank you for clearing my head on this. So how do we connect with you, Ma?
Okay, so of course I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook by my name, Comfort Waboso. Now I also have a small Facebook page that I have, where I go in weekly to. I've been doing a series on purpose-driven life by Rick Warner, and then so a lot of us know about him. So I go in every week and I just go chapter by chapter. It's been really really good. I mean, I'm learning myself too. So, but I'm actually I do that now in my personal page, as a matter of fact. But I have a group called My Purpose, My Day of Purpose. Is a group called My Day of Purpose on Facebook. But of course, if you want to get a handle of me, you can go just put my name, Comfort Wamboso, and I on Facebook. And I'm also on Instagram. Of course, I'm on Comfort 3226. Comfort 3226. And I'm also on Twitter, Commy Global. So COMMY GLOBAL, Commy Global on Twitter. And then Comfort Waboso. That's just so I mean if anybody have anything, my desire truly, Rose, and as many of us that are out there, is that something would have been said to us throughout this conference, throughout this event, that would start something new within us and begin to work, so that we can begin to walk into that thing that God has destined for our lives, so that we don't look 20, 30 years from now, we're full of regrets to say, oh, I wish. But start today, begin today to begin to walk towards it slowly, gently, little by little. And I bet you, if you stay the course of time, you will get there.
So this Facebook group, My Day of Purpose, how can we become a member? Can we just search it on Facebook and send a membership request?
Yeah, that's it. It's not, yeah, that's all you do. What I did was I took all the, question this, question that. No, you just, you request membership, I let you in, that's it. I try to keep it simple, because social media, there's so many things that is already discouraging us. So I try to make it so simple like that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to thank you, Rose. I want to thank you, Victor, and as many of you that are out there. My life is to encourage to encourage the young generation, because we're going somewhere, and I want you guys to not lose sight of where you're going. Keep the focus, keep the vision, keep it alive, and I know you will get there. God bless you guys.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Ma. If not that this is a virtual summit, I would have gotten up to give a standing ovation. But I'm
No, God bless you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, God
all right.
bless you. See you next time, okay? Bye-bye.
Oh my God. What a session. What a session. Wow. So as you heard it, wow, that was a mind-blowing session. Like I said, the issue of purpose has been something that has been misunderstood a lot of times. People have different interpretations from here and there. So it made it so difficult that even when you're trying to get a wind of it, it's like a Herculean task. But from everything that we have learned this evening, it's so refreshing to know that you can just understand the reason for your existence and run in the spirit of that mind. So I hope you make do with this information, because like I said, it's not just about getting information, it's also about using that information. So it is at this juncture that I am going to bring the person who has called us together, Mr. Victor Ifegu Mbono, to come now and say a few words before we shut down. Victor, you won't even let me introduce you very well. What is the rush about?
Let me leave now. Okay, let me leave now.
All right, so you have the floor now. No, oh my God, are you serious? Okay, so please, it's time to welcome the person who called us together, Mr. Ifegu Mbono Victor C, who is the Oga Bata of the Double Age Impact Network. So please, if your hands are free, like my own, can you put them together and send all the love? It's not easy to organize such a powerful conference and gather such people with such kind of mind. So please give me all the love. Give him all the love, all the fire emojis, all that. Don't give him my flowers, because, well, that's mine. But give him all the love and all the heart. And please welcome with me, Mr. Ifegu Mbono.
I also like flowers. So. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Rose Joseph Ume. Thank you very much for being an awesome anchor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an amazing time and you made it so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And for everyone who has been here with us, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nguha, thank you. Nena Victoria, and from every other person, FL Zugu, every other person that are online, and those who have been here on and off, thank you all for being part of this great event. You made it possible. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. And I really want to sincerely and deeply appreciate every one of our speakers, starting from our speaker of yesterday, the print doctor himself. I really want to appreciate this session yesterday was wow. And today we had Barisa Ifedi joining us. It was a wow session. And again, we had the growth coach, and just minutes ago, we had Mrs. Comfort Waboso joining us from the United States. It's been an amazing, amazing time. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. So, this conference weekly organized you. Yes, it was organized for you. And thank you that you took out time to register and be a part of this today and yesterday. Thank you. Thank you. The videos, the sessions will still be live on our YouTube channel for some time. After some time, we may have to pull it down. So please, if you still need to go through the sessions, do well to go through the sessions. And if you, definitely you should. Please do invite your friends, your colleagues, those who you love and those who you hate. And I hope you don't hate anybody. So just invite them to come see, just like that woman Jesus Christ met at the pool, who said, come and see who has shown me. So go and invite them and say, come and see where I've learned how to build my career or business to last. Okay, so specifically, this conference is meant to help you get started or to keep going if you have already started. So please, I believe that all the sessions have helped you in that regard, business or career, whatever, wherever you find yourself. I believe that the sessions have all helped you. Please don't forget that this conference was brought to you by the Double Edge Impact Network, and I am privileged to be part of the Double Edge Impact Network. And I know you want to be part of the Double Edge Impact Network. So I want to extend an invitation to you. Come be part of us. Initially, we had closed registration for membership for the year. But because of this conference, we are opening it again for 1 week. For 1 week. So you can be part of the Double Edge Impact Network. You have just 1 week. At the end of this week, we will stop the registration. We will stop accepting new members to the end of the year. So you think you should be part of this organization, you are welcome. The Double Edge Impact Network is a community of individuals. At the moment, we like saying that it is a community of young individuals who are committed to growing themselves, who are committed to becoming more, who are committed to giving more, to helping others become more too. So all we do at the Double Edge Impact Network, we summarize it under 4. What we refer to as the KEP. Our activities, we summarize it under 4 weddings. We refer to it as the KEP, our 4 cardinal points: capacity building, awareness, partnership, and education. These 4 things form the basis of everything we do as an organization. So are you interested in developing your capacity? Come be a part of us. Are you interested in creating awareness in the community, letting people know what they need to know? Come be a part of us. Are you interested in partnering with others in order to make things happen? Come be a part of us. Are you interested in education, promoting education? Come be a part of us. You are welcome. You are welcome. So to join us, just simply visit this link, bit.ly/join Dein, DEIN. DEIN should be in capital letter, all caps. Okay, so just click and join us. Okay, so that is just that. Once again, I want to appreciate you all, and please, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DE Impact Network, at DE Impact Network. Thank you all for being part of this. Thank you and 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 thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and please, lest I forget, we would appreciate if you could send us your feedback for this conference you participated. We would like you to send us a feedback. Just visit the link, bit.ly/B2L. The B2L should be in capital letter, B2L feedback. Just visit and share with us your feedback. We would like to hear from you. How has the conference been for you? We would like to hear from you. So please do share with us your feedback. Arij.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making the work very easy for me by telling them everything about feedback. I was going to mention that. So guys, please just hop into this link right now and send us a feedback on how the program was for you. The reason that we need this feedback is so that we can know how we have impacted upon you and how we can do better. So please go to this link and send us your feedback. It's important for you to follow us on social media because we are the organization that helps you accelerate in every area of your life, most of the time free of charge. So I don't know where else you'd rather be. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DE Impact Network, as you can see on your screen. And please don't forget to join the Double Edge Impact Network. It is an amazing place to be. And to join, all you have to do is to just go to the link showing on your screen, bit.ly/join DEIN. Thank you so much for letting us help you in the way that we have. Thank you so much for being an amazing viewer. My name is Rose Joseph Ume, and I am proudly signing out. Bye-bye.
Bye.